I'm Jenna.
And I'm Stephanie.
And you are listening to Pastors' Wives Tell All,
a podcast by pastors' wives for church leaders and anyone desiring to take a peek inside our glass house.
We are breaking down walls and crushing pastors' wives stereotypes within the church.
We want pastors' wives and other ministry leaders to know that they are not alone in this. Plus, this is basically therapy for the three of us with a whole lot of dance parties. Woo,
Hey friends, welcome back to Pastors' Wives Tell All. Here we are again.
We are here again.
Here we go. Here we go. One more time.
Are you feeling fine?
Here we go now.
Yes, here we go. Zinca's got the flow. Okay, we just showed our age. It's fine.
We're so young.
We are. We're hip. Hip.
You just said hip. Our hips are going to go out soon. We're getting there.
That is so true.
Guys, you know what's new this
That's
year?
very inconvenient.
It is
See what I did there?
inconvenient. Turning 40 was inconvenient for me. Speaking of inconvenient, I think we're talking about that today, right, Jess?
We're talking about inconveniences, aren't we, Jess?
We sure are. Yes. Okay. So today, we are going to be kind of just sharing some stories, some things in life, ministry, all of the above, whatever comes out of our mouth on how life can be very inconvenient, and that we are called to a higher purpose. And whether that is just in simple things in our life, all the way to ministry within our church and in our ministries outside the church, and what we need to do with that. Because a lot of times what God has called us to is not convenient. And we're like, Lord, is there an easier way? Is there an easier way? Can I stay in that friendship? Can I do that? Can I go there instead of there? Like, it can really carry into any area of your life. So we're going to kind of share different stories in our own lives and what we're still processing. A lot of us are, we're coming into 2026 going, okay, how can I do this? Because it is inconvenient and I really don't want to do it. And some of these stories are things that have kind of happened recently and what we've learned through it. So Steph, you want to kind of start us? I mean, I don't actually know where you're going. I thought I knew where you're going, but you might go somewhere different. So what's been some area in your life that's been very inconvenient, but also where you've seen God move, or maybe you're still working through it?
Or what felt inconvenient, but then became something really good.
I like that.
I feel like there's a lot of things, honestly.
Well, you can name a few.
But the one...
Start with one.
The one that is big in this season began shortly before Christmas. So probably a week and a half before Christmas Day. There was a situation that came up with two people who were basically going to end up homeless in a way, and they needed somewhere to stay. And so my husband looked at me and said, "Get the couches ready." I said, "Okay." Okay. And that night we moved in two people into our home. It wasn't real convenient because it was kind of last minute, but there was peace in it. Like, okay, we can do this. It's fine. We had those two extra people for Christmas. We, which ended up being such a memorable day. My kids love them. And so it was just, they thought it was super fun to have them. They weren't thinking, oh my gosh, I can't believe these people are in our home. When I even just mentioned the idea, is it okay if we have them like literally with us on Christmas morning and all of the things, they instantly were like, yes, yes, yes. And I just felt God in that moment of him speaking to my kids, so that they weren't super selfish in that moment. They were very much like, yes, we want to do that. That seems really fun. Can we go get them gifts and all the things? So
we'll pause you on that.
Community.
Can I pause you on that? I think it's really cool. Like when I look back at Christmas with you, I love that you and Isaac gave them the opportunity to have a say-so, because I think a lot of times in daily life, this is not just ministry. Our life should be ministry. If you haven't realized that by now, like anything in our life should be ministry, how big or small it is. So I think like a lot of times us as parents can just move and act for our kids instead of this is actually inconvenient too. It's actually inconvenient when you need to make a decision quick to stop and allow your kids to have a say so in some of the things that actually just starts to give them confidence and help them feel like empowered that they were a part. Once they get to see the end game, they got to be the yes that provided these blessings. So I think that's was an inconvenience to even have to ask your kids that you could have just been like, yeah, this is what we're doing. But you went out of your way, you and Isaac, to go sit and talk with them and make it something that they actually got to be a part of.
Yeah. And I think because of that, I did see like how they did just chip in and say, oh, let's do this on Christmas Day. Oh, they'd probably love that. And like for activities and different things, it got them involved. And even it has been inconvenient for them here and there.
Yeah.
Just we're not having any kids over to sleep over right now. There's just extra people in the home. It's just a lot.
Yeah.
And so, they've been a little disappointed, but then they get it. And they're
Yeah.
like, okay, well, yeah, that makes sense.
Mm.
And so for the past month, it's this inconvenience that has become a gift in a way, just this relationship that has been formed, and super excited for them because they are moving out into their own apartment.
So cool.
Tomorrow, they'll have already been gone by the time you listen to this, guys, but tomorrow, as of today, recording. And just to see even maybe the growth in them, I believe for all of us has been such a cool experience, an inconvenience that really has turned into a blessing, not just for them, but for us. And so I don't know, God has just taught me a lot through it as well, just of his kindness and love and how he accepts me, even when maybe I don't listen, or maybe I get off track, or maybe things happen to me that I didn't even mean to happen, that are outside of my control, that have been done to me. And the way he looks at me and loves me, and like, it reminds me that is how I'm supposed to be to others. I don't know. It's just this back and forth of learning and growing and shaping this whole time that we've been in this experience. So I would say that's the number one.
Yeah, I like that. For me, I'm actually, as you were talking, I was trying to think like, Lord, because I was going to go ministry, and I might in a minute because we'll kind of just jump around. But one thing that I feel like the Lord in this new season of 2026, I'm trying to do better at, which I feel is inconvenient, is which I was telling Jenna earlier, our phones are constantly with us. And that's, for a lot of us in ministry, our phones is part of our ministry, whether it's answering DMs, answering texts, counseling over a phone call. And for me, I'm trying to I feel like I do a pretty good job of being present where I'm at most of the time, but I also want to be present and stay off my phone, even when I should answer something, but to know that that's not how life was for pastors' wives and ministry leaders back in the day. Someone had to come knock on your door if they really needed you, or if it was at church, or, you called on the home line to, make an appointment. And so I'm trying to slowly go back to that. And I know that I will struggle with this because it is inconvenient, because I don't like to have a lot of text to go back to that I feel like I have to then spend the time answering during work time or a certain time.
Welcome to my brain.
But for me, I'm trying to just do better with that this season. And it is inconvenient because it is easy for me to just pick up and just quickly, I can answer stuff pretty quickly and shoot those things out pretty quickly. But I feel like he's wanting me to be even more present where my 2 feet are planted, wherever that's at. So if I'm in another country, that's where I'm at. That's where I need to be focused. If I'm right here podcasting, I don't need to be worried about what I'm doing, what's happening at my church. Like that can wait, because this is where the Lord's put me right here for this many hours. So I have already felt an inconvenient, like I feel that it's inconvenient, but also I feel like with that will come blessings of remembering and being present and making sure I'm a vessel where I'm located at that moment. So I would say it might seem small, but that's kind of one of the things that the Lord is teaching me in this season. Hey friends, we will get right back to our episode, but we want to take a moment and thank our patrons. You guys keep our podcast going.
If you are not a patron and you would like to consider donating to our podcast ministry, we would be so grateful, and we might even do a happy dance.
When you become a patron, you get perks like being the first to hear about special info and retreats. You get bonus episodes, monthly devotionals, lock screens, and more.
Plus, we have added a new $1 tier for those who believe in us and what we're doing. just because you love us.
So head on over to our show notes and click on the Patreon link to learn more. Now let's get back to our episode.
What about you, Jenna, in this season? Or what are some things that the Lord's been kind of teaching you, or just in life in general? Where has there been some inconveniences for you?
Well, I was talking to you earlier, Jessica, about just how my personality is very like all or nothing in a way, in a lot of different areas. And this translates in my life in so many different ways. But one way that it shows up in my life is like diet and exercise and what I'm consuming, what I'm eating, and also like being lazy versus productive, because I feel like I'm an all or nothing person. This past Christmas season, or this break that we took, from recording, and where I'm not like sitting at my computer editing podcast episodes daily or photo sessions for my photography business, I found myself, and I'm going to say this, and I need everybody to know that I'm not being mean to myself. I'm highly aware that I am not an unhealthy, overweight person. I'm very aware of that, but I let myself go in a way that I realized afterwards is a self-control issue for me, because I have that all or nothing mentality. Just an example, we had a baking day at my parents' house. I take the kids over there every year. We do it. We bake with my mom, and we bake a bunch of baked goods just for the sake of doing it.
You're making me hungry.
It's fun for the kids. The things are yummy to eat. And, if I didn't have that all or nothing mentality, of course, I'd just be able to eat a cookie.
Have a nibble or whatever. Yeah.
And then be done. But I went from this, disciplined person who I would say ate things in moderation, but for the most part, fueled my body with foods that were good for me and occasionally would have a cheat, to somebody who had like 5 cookies in one sitting and then there's still cookies on the table. And every time I walked by it, I would keep looking like, ooh, I want another cookie. They're delicious, and knowing in my brain, I don't need another cookie. Like I'm going to see results of this, not only in my pant size, but also like sugar makes your skin break out. Like there's
your immune system. It drops your immune system.
Go down.
All the things.
There's so many different things. Like food is meant to be fuel for our body and also for us to enjoy, but in moderation. Yeah. But I found myself just eating to eat.
Why? Remember the inconvenient season that you were in?
The season
of no schedule,
nowhere to be, no cameras on me consistently. So that like mindset of, because let's get real, we all care how our bodies look. We just 100%. Do. And if you say that you don't, then you probably not telling the truth. But seriously though, I just fell into the season of excess. And have noticed it, and noticed how I felt. And I realized one day, I was like, wait a second, like self-control is a fruit of the spirit. And I obviously haven't been asking the Lord to give me more of it.
Yeah, it's good.
And truly, like that's a sin. If you realize, hey, I shouldn't do this. I know this is bad for me, but I'm going to choose to do it anyway because whatever, I already blew, the whole day yesterday. It's Christmas time. It's fine. There's always Monday. There's always January. But this translates in a lot of different areas of my life. Like I will work really, really, really hard for summer. And then after summer, I just fall off the wagon. And I do it with this mentality of like, it's fine. Like, nothing's sustainable all season, all year. Yeah. But ultimately, we should be living daily with a sense of self-control and not indulging, and I think that, there's a season and there's a time and a place for like, oh yeah, let's have our favorite things party and let's bring all of our favorite foods. But there's still such thing as self-control in those moments. And I just haven't had any of that.
And it's daggum inconvenient.
It is inconvenient.
Because you want to eat it because it's good.
Right.
And you want to do it because it's good.
Right.
And then the Lord says, but self-control.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
that's good.
I don't know. I think I justified it because of this season, but getting back into routine and then realizing that, wait, no, I actually can say no to those things. Just like you actually can say no to going and picking up your phone when you're supposed to be spending time with your family. Right. And those are just things that are super important. But I mean, it's inconvenient. It's inconvenient to get up and move your body, every day when You know, you really
need to
don't
do
feel like it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
or you have so many things to do. You have work to do, but
Mhm.
ultimately, like, we know we should be doing these things at
Yeah.
least a few times a week. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just learning what that looks like in my life, what the self-control looks like in other areas too. You know, I'm not the person to be known for curling up in a blanket and laying on the couch and like watching a movie with my family because there's always something that needs to be done. Well, I've done a whole lot better at that. I have, but I found myself being a little more lazy than I probably should have been in the season that we were in. Not that that's a bad thing, like, you know, but I do think that there's a difference in letting it go completely and then or just making yourself do something because you need to do that. Like I needed to relax some more. So hear me when I say that was good for me for a little bit. But
Well, I love that you say that because it kind of, I mean, you know, I've been talking to the Lord lately about it because I always say, like, man, like exercise, I can start walking and doing all that stuff. But the more my life has gotten busy, the harder it is for me to take care of my body. You know, having an autoimmune, and even though my autoimmune's been great and kind of under wraps, like for a couple of years now, like I know that it can pop up at any time. Like it's not just gone. But just like, man, as we get older, as we were talking about our hips and all, our hips are fine right now, just to let y'all know. But they don't lie. Your hips don't lie, you know, like what's happening, you know, on your everyday basis. It is like when you talk about that, it is inconvenient. Like for me, I'm going, yeah, I really need to exercise because I want to take care of my body so I can go do what I'm called to do. But it's inconvenient because I don't feel like I have a lot of time, or I'd have to wake up earlier, or squish something else. Yeah, like it is inconvenient to do the things that you need to do sometimes.
yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, that's real. It's real and it's good. I mean, because that's something like I'm dealing with and thinking through right now. And it's inconvenient, you know, to cook a meal when I could just order fast food.
Oh, it's been so
you know,
inconvenient to cook meals lately.
But it's like, I think if we go back to the basic of, you know, one of the things, like, as you talk about that, Jenna, like at the beginning of the year and kind of into like the holidays into the beginning of the year, I've been trying to like, go back to like, not the olden days, like back a long time ago, like trying to like make my own butter and make my own bread. And that's inconvenient, all of those things, but I'm trying to every month do something and make something to take out of my house that is not really good for my family and put something in that's less ingredients or less chemicals and all of that. And that's inconvenient for someone that has a busy lifestyle and really doesn't have the time. The thing is the things that like convenience is really just not our life. Like it's the things that we need to do. I mean, as you were talking, I was just hearing sin. Sin is convenient.
Yeah.
Sin is convenient. Sin looks good.
Yeah.
Those 5 cookies right now, they sound good. Like I want a cookie. Like, you know what I mean? So I think that it's such a important lesson for us that like in everything, like getting back to the basics, I think is really important, and taking away some of the excess of the things that are not needed will help us to get back on track. Our families, our great grandparents, they had easier lives, not in a lot of ways, but like for their minds and their hearts and souls, less convenience with their phones and their social media and things coming in. And yeah, they're great and they're good tools that can be used for good, but they also can be used for really evil things that can affect our body. But yeah, so I mean, I think that we need to be really careful and in this new season of life, really focus on how. I liked what you said, like, God, give me self-control. We talk about praying for wisdom, for loving people that are freaking annoying, but like, I don't pray a lot for self-control. Like, I don't know.
I mean, we don't talk in general about like overindulging and like all of that from the pulpit.
Yeah.
Like it's still a sin.
Yeah.
But, and we talk about a lot of other sins, but like,
it's really the same.
I mean, we like to make that one okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Even in certain seasons. And I don't know. I just thought about that a lot since the year turned. So
yeah, I love it.
Well, this may not be convenient, guys, but it's time to wrap this thing up.
So good, Steph. You're so good. Well, we love you guys. And I think that for us, this conversation is good. We can look back at things that God is blessing us in, even in the inconvenience, but also things that we need to do better at ourselves in 2026. We know that you have those same things that you're dealing with, but also, like as Steph was talking about this sweet story to start the podcast. So don't be afraid to step out into the unknown, even if it seems inconvenient, because there is a blessing on the other end of it. And not just for yourself, but for someone else. And I'm definitely going to walk away praying more for self-control. So maybe that's you as well. Or put down your phone. Come on, guys. Let's go back to the basics and see what the Lord has in store for 2026. So we love you guys. And until next time.
Bye.
Okay, friends, if you have enjoyed this episode as much as we have, please help us spread the word on Facebook and Instagram.
If you didn't know yet, Instagram is where all the fun is at. From dance reels on Wednesdays to spiritual encouragement and laugh out loud posts in between, there is something for everyone.
And last but certainly not least, if you could take a moment right now to stop what you're doing and give us a rating and review, even subscribe to our podcast, this seriously helps other people find us who wouldn't be able to otherwise. Thank you so much for your love and support. We hope you'll tune in next week.